Why Naruto is called a life textbook. The hidden messages Western fans discover. When you think of Naruto, what comes to mind? Ninja battles, intense friendships, and a story of incredible growth. Right? But did you know that Western fans often call Naruto a textbook for life? Surprisingly, what international viewers focus on isn't the fights, but rather the themes of forgiveness and reconciliation. And these elements are actually Naruto's greatest message, something Japanese viewers often overlook. Today, we're diving deep into Naruto's true themes and exploring how people around the world have come to love this series from a completely different perspective. Naruto's story is about reconciliation, not revenge. The world of Naruto frequently portrays cycles of revenge and hatred. However, what Naruto ultimately aims for isn't defeating enemies, but understanding and reconciling with them. For example, one episode that particularly moves international fans is the Naruto vs. Pain battle. In a typical battle manga, the story might end with defeating a powerful enemy. But Naruto is different. After learning Pain's background and understanding his suffering, Naruto makes the choice to forgive him to end the cycle of revenge. This scene was shocking to Western viewers. In Western entertainment, the pattern of heroes defeating villains is well established. But Naruto showed a different resolution. In Marvel movies and DC Comics, villains are typically defeated or imprisoned. But in Naruto, Pain, Nagato, ultimately acknowledges his mistakes and sacrifices his life to resurrect the villagers he killed. Even more surprising is the behind-the-scenes story. That this theme of understanding and reconciliation wasn't originally planned by creator Masashi Kishimoto. According to interviews with his editor, Naruto was initially conceived as a more typical, good triumphs over evil story. However, as the story progressed, the theme of breaking the chain of hatred naturally grew stronger. This evolution transformed Naruto from just another battle manga into a work with a powerful message. Sasuke vs. Naruto. The true meaning behind their destined battle. Another major theme is the relationship between Naruto and Sasuke. While Japanese viewers tend to see them as rivals, engaged in a destined battle, international fans view their relationship as a family bond. Sasuke leaves the village for revenge and fights Naruto multiple times. But Naruto never aims to defeat Sasuke. His goal is to bring Sasuke back, no matter how many times he's rejected. Western fans strongly relate to Naruto's attitude, because Western culture has deeply rooted values that true friendship means never abandoning someone. This unwavering friendship is actually an important theme in Hollywood movies as well. But in most cases, the story becomes about fighting villains to save friends. However, Naruto portrays the complex situation where a friend becomes the villain. And Naruto's refusal to give up on him was fresh and moving for Western viewers. Kishimoto's childhood experiences are also fascinating. According to interviews, he had a falling out with a close friend when he was young and regretted not being able to restore that friendship. This regret is reflected in Naruto and Sasuke's relationship. The message of never abandoning someone important to you, no matter what happens, strongly reflects the creator's own experiences. The importance of freedom of choice and self-sacrifice that Naruto conveys. Another element international viewers focus on is the message that people can choose their own path. The Naruto world strongly emphasizes that your environment doesn't determine who you are. Your choices determine your life. For instance, Naruto himself was originally seen as a failure. However, through effort and conviction, he grows and forges his own path. Itachi is similar. He made the painful choice to sacrifice his family for the sake of the village. But that decision was made of his own will. This theme of choice resonates particularly strongly with American viewers, because it connects with the American value of carving out your own destiny. It's no wonder that many American celebrities are passionate Naruto fans. For example, NBA player Kemba Walker reportedly listens to Naruto theme songs before games to boost his motivation. And rapper Lil Uzi Vert has publicly stated that he learned life lessons from Naruto. Furthermore, the theme of choice and sacrifice is most strongly expressed in the story of Naruto's parents, Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. They sacrificed their lives to protect their son. But this wasn't forced upon them. It was a choice made of their own will. This theme of a parent's love choosing self-sacrifice for their child resonates with people across countries and cultures. Why did Japanese people miss Naruto's deep message? As we've discussed, Naruto portrays universal themes like reconciliation, friendship, and freedom of choice. However, Japanese viewers tend to see Naruto as a classic battle series for boys. Japanese manga culture might play a role in this. The main readership of Shonen Jump, boys in their teens, tends to be drawn to special techniques and intense developments. Additionally, since the weekly serialization format is mainstream in the Japanese manga market, readers tend to follow the work with the perspective of how will this week's battle turn out. In contrast, internationally, Naruto is often consumed as a completed work all at once, making it easier to focus on what is being conveyed through the story as a whole. Furthermore, translated versions of Naruto might lose subtle nuances of Japanese. But in exchange, universal themes become more emphasized. Kishimoto himself has expressed surprise at international fans' reactions when he attended New York Comic Con in 2015. Many foreign fans told him that Naruto changed my life. The creator himself frankly admitted that he hadn't expected his work to be received so deeply. Why Naruto is loved around the world. Naruto is loved worldwide because it contains the message that no matter how painful your past, no matter how many mistakes you've made, you can change. The importance of reconciliation, self-sacrifice, and choosing your own path. Elements often overlooked by Japanese viewers are the points that resonate most with international fans. Naruto's cumulative circulation exceeds 250 million copies and has been translated and published in 72 countries. While this doesn't reach Dragon Ball's 300 million copies, it far surpasses American Superman, about 60 million, and Batman, about 100 million. These numbers alone show how internationally influential Naruto is. What's even more interesting is that Naruto's influence extends beyond manga and anime. For instance, some American universities actually offer courses, like the philosophy of peace-building in Naruto. Additionally, among peace activists and social workers, there are people who express a desire to apply Naruto's spirit of reconciliation to the real world. In this way, Naruto has transcended mere entertainment to become a textbook for life that influences many people's life perspectives. That's why Naruto continues to be loved around the world. After watching this video, you might discover something new if you revisit Naruto from a different perspective. Is Naruto's 9 tails connected to myths around the world? In Naruto's story, the 9-tailed fox Kurama is often considered a character rooted in Japanese legend, not just a powerful entity. But what if I told you this? The 9 tails concept is connected to myths and legends from around the world, not just Japan. In fact, concepts like Kurama's multi-tailed beast or sealed divine creature appear in myths and stories from China, Korea, Europe, and even America. Today, we're diving deep into the surprising connections between Naruto's 9 tails and mythologies from around the world. The 9-tailed fox's roots are not just Japanese. When you hear 9-tailed fox, many people think of the Japanese yokai Kyuubi no Kitsune. This legendary creature appears in the Nihon Shoki and the tale of the Heike, sometimes portrayed as a trickster, sometimes as a divine messenger. One famous legend involves Tamamo Mae, a court lady of Emperor Toba during the Heian period, who was actually a 9-tailed fox in disguise. She served at court in the form of a beautiful woman and was said to have bewitched the emperor. This story remains popular today and has influenced various anime and manga. However, this concept of the 9-tailed fox isn't unique to Japan, but exists in Chinese and Korean legends as well. China's Jiawehu. In Chinese legends, the 9-tailed fox has existed since ancient times, often portrayed as a seductive character who can transform into a human and receive the emperor's favor. For example, the infamous Daji is said to have been a 9-tailed fox in disguise. She ingratiated herself with King Zhou of the Shang dynasty around the 11th century BCE and led the dynasty to its downfall. Interestingly, the Chinese classic Shanhai Jing, classic of mountains and seas, already contained descriptions of the 9-tailed fox around the 4th century BCE. Here, the 9-tailed fox was depicted as a divine beast, and its cry was considered an ominous sign. This means the concept of the 9 tails has a longer history in China than in Japan. Korea's Gumiho. In Korea, a 9-tailed fox called Gumiho appears in legends. Unlike in Japan and China, Korea's 9-tailed fox has the terrifying characteristic of eating human livers. According to legend, a fox that lives for 1,000 years gains 9 tails and the ability to transform into human form. Korean 9-tailed foxes also have a unique setting: the concept of trials to become human. Legend has it that if a Gumiho can live for 100 days without eating human flesh, it can become fully human. This is a feature not found in Japanese or Chinese nine-tailed foxes. The creature has appeared in recent Korean dramas like My Girlfriend is a Gumiho, and gained popularity as a seductive character. Looking at these examples, we can see that Naruto's Nine Tails Kurama incorporates legends not just from Japan, but from China and Korea as well. In particular, Kurama's setting as a sealed entity is deeply connected to the concept of dangerous but sacred power, common throughout East Asia. Are there nine tails-like beings in European mythology too? Do you think the nine-tailed fox concept exists only in Asia? Actually, European legends also have beings similar to Kurama. The Morrigan from Celtic mythology. Celtic mythology features a war goddess called the Morrigan. She can transform into crows or wolves, and is sometimes described as having 9 forms. This shares similarities with the nine-tailed fox's shape-shifting abilities. The Morrigan would appear on battlefields in the form of a crow, and was said to influence the outcome of battles. This aspect as a god of war is surprisingly similar to the setting in Naruto's world, where Kurama has been treated as a weapon of war. The Morrigan is also portrayed as sometimes hostile, sometimes cooperative. This parallels how Kurama initially has an antagonistic relationship with Naruto, before gradually developing a cooperative relationship. Fenrir from Norse mythology. Norse mythology features a giant wolf called Fenrir. He is sealed by the gods and destined to eventually fight against them. Doesn't this resemble how Kurama was sealed within humans, and eventually fights alongside Naruto? There's a particularly interesting point in Fenrir's story. The gods feared his power and bound him with a special chain. This sealing motif is surprisingly similar to the concept of tailed beasts being sealed within Jinchuriki in Naruto's world. Furthermore, during Ragnarok, the Norse apocalypse, Fenrir finally breaks his chains and fights the gods. This theme of a sealed entity being released resembles the destructive power of Kurama when fully released. Fox deity Valpurga from Slavic mythology. Slavic mythology features a fox deity called Valpurga. She is said to have human form and the ability to communicate with the gods. Valpurga was worshipped particularly in Eastern European regions, like Poland and Russia. She was a symbol of wisdom and cunning, portrayed as sometimes helping humans and sometimes punishing them. This duality of being both helpful and threatening is similar to Kurama's dual nature as both a god of destruction and a guardian deity. Learning about these European legends, we can see that Kurama is not just a Japanese yokai, but an entity connected to mythologies worldwide. Influence on American pop culture? The Nine Tails concept has influenced American pop culture too. Pokemon's Ninetales. Ninetales is a Pokemon that takes the form of a nine-tailed fox. With origins derived from Chinese and Japanese nine-tailed fox legends, Ninetales already appeared in the first Pokemon games released in 1996. And its mystical appearance and fire-type characteristic reflect the Fox of Fire image in nine-tailed fox legends. Interestingly, the English name Ninetales directly means nine tails. This shows how the concept of the nine-tailed fox is recognized across borders. Marvel Comics' Nine Tails. Marvel Comics also features a character called Nine Tails. She is depicted as a fox-like being who can manipulate magic and transform. Nine Tails is a character who appeared in Deadpool and X-Men comics in the 1990s, clearly incorporating the legend of the nine-tailed fox. She is portrayed as a Chinese-American woman who inherited the power of the ancient Chinese nine-tailed fox. The fact that a global comic brand like Marvel incorporates the nine tails concept shows how universal and attractive this mythology is. Star Wars Force Spirits. The Star Wars series features animals that appear as Force spirits. Some fans believe that animal spirits like Kurama are connected to the concept of the Force. In particular, the expanded Star Wars universe includes life forms called Losh, depicted as having deep connections to the Force. These beings are similar to Kurama in that they form spiritual bonds with specific individuals, and sometimes lend them their power. George Lucas is known to have drawn much inspiration from Japanese culture, and it's possible that the concept of Force spirits was influenced by East Asian divine beast legends. Looking at these examples, we can see that the nine-tailed fox is not just a Japanese entity, but has influenced pop culture worldwide. Was Kurama a global legend all along? Naruto's Nine Tails Kurama is connected not just to Japanese yokai but to China's Jiaweihu, Korea's Gumiho, divine beasts from European mythology, American pop culture, with deep connections to legends from around the world. Through Naruto, we can discover that Japanese mythology actually has common elements with the rest of the world. This is why international fans are deeply interested in Kurama, making it one reason they love Naruto. In fact, Masashi Kishimoto once stated in an interview that the Nine Tails concept was inspired not just by Japanese folklore but by various mythologies. When creating the concept of tailed beasts, he researched legends of sealed power from around the world and reconstructed them in his own unique way. This approach likely elevated Naruto's story from simply a Japanese story to a universal story that people worldwide can relate to. You might discover something new if you reconsider Naruto's nine tails, not just as merely a powerful enemy, but as a fusion of mythologies from around the world. Why Itachi is called the most tragic character in history by Western fans. You are weak because you lack hatred. Just hearing these words, many fans can immediately picture that famous scene. Yes, the one where Itachi Uchiha speaks to his younger brother Sasuke. Did you know that among Naruto characters, Itachi is especially regarded as the most tragic character in history by Western fans? He's not just a powerful enemy, but is beloved by many international fans as a character like the protagonist of a Shakespearean tragedy. Why has Itachi become such a special figure internationally? Today, we'll explore his choices and tragedy by comparing him to tragic heroes from Western literature and film. Itachi's choice was the same as kings of Western tragedy. Itachi's life was dramatically changed by a single decision. That decision was choosing to annihilate the Uchiha clan. However, it later becomes clear that behind this decision was his own sense of justice to protect the village. These elements of unavoidable fate and heroic sacrifice are why international fans view Itachi as a tragic hero. Similarities with Shakespeare's Hamlet. Hamlet is also a character who struggles between revenge or peace. He fulfills his mission but ultimately meets his demise. Similarly, Itachi acted to save the Uchiha clan, but ultimately succumbed to illness. What's particularly fascinating is the duality that both Itachi and Hamlet embody. Hamlet feigns madness while seeking truth, while Itachi plays the role of a ruthless killer while actually desiring peace. Both share the commonality of hiding their true purpose through performance. At universities in English-speaking countries, papers comparing Itachi and Hamlet are actually written in literature classes. These analyses observe that both possess intelligence and insight, yet are bound by tragic fate. Similarities with Oedipus Rex. Oedipus Rex is one of the most famous Greek tragedies. Oedipus is also tossed about by an unavoidable tragic fate, ultimately learning the truth. Similarly, Itachi chose to die without revealing the truth until he told Sasuke everything. When Oedipus learns the horrific truth that he killed his father and married his mother, he gouges out his own eyes to bear his suffering. Likewise, Itachi bears the sin of slaughtering his clan, and chooses to live without revealing the truth to anyone. Both embody the suffering of knowledge and the weight of truth, which is why many Western fans with classical education find a classical tragic beauty in Itachi's story. Because Itachi possesses all these characteristics of a tragic hero, he is as appealing to international viewers as characters from Shakespeare or Greek mythology. Itachi's love, as a brother, transcended Western tragedy. There's another point that strongly resonates with international fans about Itachi. That's his choice to love his brother while accepting his hatred. Many Western stories feature sibling rivalry as a theme, but Itachi's story went beyond this concept. The opposite of Mufasa versus Scar in The Lion King. In The Lion King, the older brother Mufasa is the ideal figure as king. However, his younger brother Scar betrays him to steal his position. But the relationship between Itachi and Sasuke is the opposite. Itachi sacrificed everything for his younger brother, and chose to become the villain himself. Disney's The Lion King is one of the most famous stories of sibling rivalry in the West. However, that story is depicted in a simple framework of the good older brother and the evil younger brother. In contrast, Itachi's story portrays a more complex and mature relationship. An outwardly evil older brother who is actually acting out of deep love. This complexity particularly captures the hearts of adult fans. Comparison with the brotherly confrontation in Gladiator. In the film Gladiator, the Emperor's son Commodus betrays Maximus, who is like an older brother figure, and tries to seize the throne. However, Itachi chose to entrust everything to his younger brother, and step aside himself. Gladiator is a film that won the Academy Award in 2000, and focuses on themes of power and justice. In this film, Commodus acts for his own self-interest, but Itachi, conversely, acts with complete disregard for his own benefit. In many Hollywood films, villains and heroes are clearly distinguished. But Itachi occupies a complex position as outwardly a villain, but actually the person who most upheld justice. This characteristic of being a gray zone hero appears extremely attractive to international fans familiar with Western narratives. This action of choosing to be hated for the sake of someone you love is a major reason why international fans see him as the most tragic character in history. Itachi's planned death shocked Western fans. What shocked international viewers most was the truth about Itachi's death. He didn't simply die fighting Sasuke. Later it's revealed that he intended to lose from the beginning. As revealed in the story, Itachi was living with a terminal illness, yet continued to live until his final moments to protect Sasuke. His purpose was to make Sasuke a hero, and for that, he devised the ultimate plan to die as the villain. This element of planned self-sacrifice is a motif that evokes very strong emotions in Western narratives as well. Commonalities with American dark hero films. For example, in the film The Dark Knight, Batman chooses to be pursued as a criminal to give citizens hope. Similarly, Itachi chose to become the villain himself, to give Sasuke a clear goal as the target of revenge. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight carries the theme that a hero sometimes must accept being viewed as a villain. Itachi's story also embodies this theme, and this similarity resonates with international fans. Additionally, when fighting Sasuke for the last time, Itachi was already in a dying state. Nevertheless, he continues fighting to the last drop of his strength to make Sasuke believe he defeated me. This kind of perfectly calculated self-sacrifice is often depicted in Western stories as a savior motif. Alignment with the Western mythical concept of self-sacrifice. In Western culture, the concept that heroes save the world through their own sacrifice is common. Itachi's death was also a planned sacrifice for the village and Sasuke, which deeply moved many fans. Particularly in Christian cultural spheres, there's a strong religious empathy for the act of giving one's life to save others. There are structural similarities between the story of Jesus Christ bearing humanity's sins and being crucified, and the story of Itachi bearing the clan's sins and dying. This aesthetics of self-sacrifice is one of the most sublime motifs in Western narratives, and Itachi's embodiment of it has made a strong impression on international fans. Why Itachi is called the most tragic. Itachi's story has surprising commonalities with Western tragic heroes, and his choices, sacrifices, and love have deeply moved the hearts of international fans. The unavoidable fate common to Shakespearean tragedies. A unique love of choosing to be hated for his brother's sake. That doesn't exist in Western stories. The dark hero-like self-sacrifice of planning his own death from the beginning. Because all these elements come together, international fans declare that Itachi is truly the most tragic character in history. In fact, in a 2019 anime character popularity poll in America, Itachi was ranked number 1 in the most complex and fascinating character category. Some Western psychologists have analyzed Itachi's character, arguing that his actions are an example of extreme self-sacrifice born from deep affection. Masashi Kishimoto has also expressed surprise at Itachi's popularity overseas. According to him, Japanese fans tend to focus more on Sasuke. But internationally there's strong interest in Itachi's complex psychology and motivations. If you get the chance to watch Naruto again, try reconsidering Itachi's decisions from the perspective of Western tragedy. You might discover a new appeal to Itachi that you hadn't seen before.